Welcome back to Armchair Art Share. In our last episode, we explore the foundations of Greek art, from the patterned order of the geometric period through the global influences of the Orientalizing period and into the emerging naturalism of the Archaic Age. Today, we move into the moments Greek art is most famous for. The pursuit of perfection in the classical period, followed by the emotional intensity and theatrical power of the Hellenistic period. This is where Greek artists stop asking how do we represent the world and begin asking how should the world ideally be seen. The classical period opens with a quiet revolution. The Kritios Boy introduces the first true use of contrapposto, where the body's weight rests naturally on one leg. This subtle shift breaks away from the stiffness of archaic figures and signals a new interest in realism, balance, and the natural movement of the human body. Polykleitos Doryphoros, or spear-bearer, represents the classical ideal of mathematical beauty, using precise system proportions known as a canon. The sculptor created a figure that embodies harmony, balance, and controlled strength, an idealized vision of the human form rather than a portrait of an individual. With the discobolus, Greek artists capture athletic motion. At its most dynamic, the figure freezes a split second of intense physical action, combining movement and restraint in a way that reflects the classical fascination with balance, discipline, and idealized physical excellence. The Parthenon, built on the Acropolis in Athens, stands as the ultimate expression of classical architectural mastery. Designed with subtle optical refinements, curving lines, and adjusted proportions, it creates the illusion of perfect H. The Temple of Hephaestus, one of the best-preserved Greek temples, shows how classical principles were applied beyond monumental projects like the Parthenon. Its clean Doric lines and balanced proportions reflect the same ideals of clarity and harmony within a functional civic and religious space. With the Aphrodite of Knidos, sculpted by Praxiteles, the female body enters Greek art as a subject of beauty, rather than symbolism alone. The figure's relaxed pose and gentle modesty transform the goddess into a humanized presence, blending divinity with sensual realism. In vase painting, the Hydria by the Neobid painter demonstrates classical experimentation with space and depth. Figures are arranged on multiple ground lines rather than a single band, creating a more naturalistic sense of environment and narrative movement. The Chrysophanon statue of Zeus, created by Phidias, was a colossal cult statue made of gold and ivory, seated and monumental. It conveyed divine authority and serenity, earning its place as one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. After the death of Alexander the Great, the Greek world expanded dramatically, and so did Greek art. The Hellenistic period shifts away from restraint and ideal calm toward emotion, movement, and individual experience. Hellenistic artists were no longer focused on ideal perfection alone. Instead, they explored drama, realism, and the full emotional range of the human condition. Art becomes theatrical, expressive, and deeply personal. The Nike of Samothrace, or Winged Victory, captures motion at its most triumphant. Perched on the prow of a ship, the goddess appears to have just landed, her wings spread and her drapery whipped by wind. This sculpture is not meant to be viewed calmly. It overwhelms the viewer with energy, movement, and divine presence. In stark contrast to classical restraint, Laocoön and His Sons confronts us with intense suffering. Muscles strain, bodies twist, and faces contort as Laocoön and his children struggle against attacking serpents. The sculpture pulls the viewer into the moment, emphasizing pain, tension, and emotional realism. The Pergamon Altar takes this drama to an architectural scale. Its massive frieze depicts the battle between gods and giants, carved in deep relief, so figures seem to spill into the viewer's space. Unlike classical compositions, these bodies surge forward, clash violently, and radiate chaos and power. Hellenistic art also turns its attention to everyday life. The old market woman depicts age, fatigue, and hardship with unflinching honesty, rather than ideal beauty. The artist emphasizes character, individuality, and social reality, subjects rarely explored in earlier periods. Not all Hellenistic works are dramatic or tragic. Sleeping Arrow shows the god of love as a vulnerable, resting child. The sculpture invites quiet observation, revealing the period's fascination with intimacy, tenderness, and emotional nuance. Together, These works define the Hellenistic period as a time of expansion of emotion, subject matter, and artistic ambition. Greek art no longer strives only for ideal beauty. It embraces struggle, vulnerability, and the complexity of human experience. This emotional richness would go on to influence Roman art and, ultimately, Western visual culture for centuries to come. Across these episodes, we've traced a full arc of Greek art, beginning with the patterned order of the geometric period, moving through the global influences of the Orientalizing period, and into the growing naturalism of the Archaic period. We then explored the balance and ideal beauty of the Classical period, before arriving at the emotion, movement, and human complexity of the Hellenistic period. Together, these periods show how Greek artists continually reimagined what art could do, shaping not only their own world, but the foundations of Western art for centuries to come. Thank you for joining me on Armchair Art Share.